Welcome, Cancer, to your June monthly horoscope for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. If you'd like to relate to me more directly, you can do so on Twitter, and my handle is @HoroscopeAce. You can also click on the link beneath this video and subscribe to your monthly magazine, Astrology magazine, or your free daily horoscope. And if you'd like to have a one-to-one with me, embrace real astrology based on your time, date and place of birth, please check out the testimonials beneath this video too. We continue to be in a very serious time for the world at large, and I will measure what I say with a great deal of care. But of course, some countries are emerging from COVID-19 a bit quicker than others, so I will try to embrace every eventuality. In general, as this month begins, I think you can find yourself quite thoughtful, particularly about relationships, and so therefore you may find yourself reminiscing, feeling quite nostalgic, or perhaps you're thinking very carefully about an existing relationship which perhaps isn't working quite as you would like. This is partly because Venus, the planet of relating, is in your 12th house, but also it's in retrograde and will be so through to the 25th of this month, and it's going to be in shadow through to the 29th of July. So this is going to be an extended time of very careful thought about what you want from your relationships, what you want to give, what your expectations are, and understanding the psychological interaction between you and anyone you're drawn to or whom you're deeply invested in. But because the Sun is close to Venus as this month begins, it's possible that you could be drawn to someone in quite a quiet or a slow way for the time being. So for example, if you are in a lockdown situation, perhaps there can be a connection to someone confidentially through the internet. Or perhaps there is someone from your past that is coming to mind. It could be an old flame. Maybe it's an experience from your past that shapes and influences your reality in the here and now. But Mercury is in your sign and is forging a beautiful link to Uranus in the first 10 days of this month, despite being in shadow itself. And this points towards you being innovative, thinking about your future in a more dexterous way. This could see you changing your mind quite a bit, but as things evolve and through this fluidity, you can actually get a better idea of what you want, and that can become clearer once the Sun enters your sign on the 20th of this month. But I have to be honest, Jupiter and Pluto are in retrograde in your sector of relationships from the start of this month and come together more closely on the 22nd and onwards. So this can be a very key period for what you decide about those very close interactions. And remember, relationships don't need to just be with another person. They can be with ourselves, our own relationship to our reality, our own relationship to what we think we want from relationships. And the tricky part of this month is that for the first 18 days, Mars, the planet of desire, is in a very expansive part of your scope, but alongside Neptune, and that can distort reality for us all. But the two of them are squaring with the Sun, which is in a very sensitive area right through till the 19th. So I think if you are having discussions, taking soundings, thinking very deeply about what you want, I would try to keep your mind as open as possible, particularly on the back of the lunar eclipse, which occurs on the 5th in the sign of Sagittarius. Now that also may raise an issue to do with your welfare, life organisation or work. And if you do work with others and it's not a particularly harmonious environment, or the company you work for are not particularly nurturing, it may be a bit of a difficult patch at the heart of this month. But remember, Uranus and Mercury are encouraging you to follow your own path and not necessarily stick with what you've known in the past. Although Mercury goes into a retrograde on the 18th through to the 12th of July, it is still an opportunity for you to think about how you can personally influence things. And once the Sun moves on the 20th and we have an astonishingly powerful solar eclipse in your sign on the 21st, this provides a backdrop of energy for the next 6 months. But this eclipse is in complete opposition to the eclipse which occurred in December last year. And that, of course, was in your opposite sign of Capricorn, which is all about those relationships. So I think something that's been bubbling and boiling away since then is going to come up and into the open in the next 6 months. And because Saturn, the planet of structure, is in an obtuse but limiting angle with the eclipse exactly on the 21st, we also have this eclipse occurring on the world point. Now, the first degree of Aries is the first point of Aries, is the start of the cardinals, and the 0 degree of Cancer is the second point, and then 0 degree of Libra, 0 degree of Capricorn. So I think that if your birthday is right at the start of Cancer, you're going to feel the might of this solar eclipse even more. So if there are any thoughts that you have about a relationship, whether it's a personal one, a business one, an association you have with someone, it's going to be tested, I think, if there are any chinks between now and the end of the year. But of course, an eclipse in our own sign is also a chance to think about our own identity. And if you feel that your life has in some ways been out of kilter, perhaps you feel it's been more give than get, or perhaps there's something that you feel is lacking in your life, this eclipse is really asking you to think carefully about how you can add extra nourishment to your situation. Now, what's going to help you hugely is that Mars moves away from that cloying link with Neptune as this month goes on, and on the 28th fires its way into the sign of Aries. Now again, right at the end of this month, that's going to be a critical point for Mars's journey this year. And it's going to be in the sign of Aries through to the 6th of January. This very long extended transit, usually it's 60 days, this time, as you can see, over 6 months, is going to give you the chance to be much more assertive about what you want to achieve in this latter part of 2020. Of course, all of our decision making is going to be partly informed by the influence of COVID, especially around business and work. And because Mars moves into the most visible part of your situation, your midheaven, it could be that area that you are going to have to flex and think a little bit differently around. But if you do need to reconstruct your situation because of the impact of COVID, don't underestimate your ingenuity, your drive, and your determination to do so. A lot of leaders, captains and managers and supervisors in industry are Cancers because you have a superb ability to marshal resources very effectively. So if you do want to take on a new challenge, maybe it's not something you're going to get an immediate payback on, but something fresh and exciting can be beginning, but you've just got to be aware that when it comes to the financial impact of it, because of Saturn, you must be mindful and stay realistic about how that connects to others, the needs you have that can be supplied and fulfilled by others too. If you'd like to know more about your personal situation, as I said at the outset, please check out those testimonials below. Or if you'd like to have a written report emailed to you, which is great value, and you can get a 30% discount if you do, please also see my offer beneath this video. But for now, stay safe, take care, good luck, and goodbye.